Pets, pets, pets.
It's so pretty. Hello and welcome to Pretty Quick number 5. It's been a little while since the last one of these, so I thought I would make it up to you with doggos. Lots and lots of doggos. Let's take a look at the Red Lantern from Timberline Studio. The Red Lantern is a beautiful looking, story-driven sled navigation game with lovely skies, beautiful snow, and if you're the kind of person who tends to ask, can I pet the dog? The answer is yes. Yes you can, a lot.
Scratches, scratches, scratches.
You play as the Musher, a young woman who has decided to chase her childhood dream of racing sled dogs after med school didn't quite work out. So she hopped in a van with her adopted dog Chomper and headed for Alaska. The main goal of the game is to follow a map to the cabin of a family friend, marked by a red lantern, so that you can begin training for your new way of life, without starving, freezing, or otherwise dying along the way, of course. But first you'll need a team. There are 8 dogs to choose from, and you have to pick 4. Each has their own personalities and strengths and weaknesses, such as helping you place traps better or being strong enough to pull you out of the ice water. My only complaint here is that there's no game mode you can unlock where you can pick all of the dogs at the same time, as well as a certain friend you might meet along the way. I'd like all of the dogs, please, thank you. My personal favourite is the wonderful Bodega, but they're all great and you can have a lot of fun picking different combinations of dogs for different save files. Once the team is assembled, you can start making your way across the map. The game itself is not open world like I had initially expected it to be for some reason, being more of a decisions on rails sort of affair where you instruct the dogs to go left or right, H or G, or let them decide for themselves. Whilst initially this felt like a bit of a shame, I think I'd secretly been hoping for the long dark with doggos. At the same time, the fact that you're not in complete control is kinda nice, and it feels a little bit more like you and the dogs are in a partnership rather than you're just driving everything around. As you travel and make choices, you'll encounter various animals, have opportunities to pick up supplies or hunt for food, and so on.
Ooh, bullets.
Some of the encounters are dangerous, but happily the game has a dogs always live setting, which I turned on straight away because feck that. I don't need dogs dying in my games, thank you very much. For each piece of the journey, marked with little red trail markers, you'll use up energy and food, so you also need to make sure to set up camp and rest before it's too late. And camping is where all of the best pets happen.
You keeping a lookout for all of us? Yeah, I don't want to distract you too much, but I think it's time for some good old pets. Maybe a bit of a massage. Keep you loose for the trail. Oh, let's get those pets in, buddy.
It's really lovely, and you can pet the dogs for as long as you like. I mean, I haven't technically tested this out, but I think you can just keep going forever. And even aside from the pets, which are of course the most important part of the game, the rest of the game is gorgeous, with amazing skies and beautifully coloured lighting. The music is really nice, and the writing is just full of personality. The Musher is voiced by Ashley Birch, and they're a big part of what gives the game its charm. Though some of the voice lines can be a touch repetitive in places, I really enjoyed the pieces of story that we get along the way. Hearing the Musher's thoughts and their fears.
I thought things were going to plan. I really did, but now I'm not so sure. I knew the ice could break. I just never thought it actually would.
As well as the fun and sweet moments that they have with the dogs.
Good boy. Can you believe this? It's a herd of caribou. A week ago, we had to be impressed by a flock of pigeons. You're probably not gonna eat through the gang line and run off into the woods, are you, buddy? Right? Right? Stop corncob biting the gang line! Note to self, double wrap the gang line near Jumper.
When you fail a run, which will happen a lot early on because your character is shockingly unprepared for the journey. Like, it's amazing how few supplies you bring with us initially. And when you fail, the game does this cool thing where you wake up having briefly nodded off at the wheel, and you think, phew, what a nightmare, I'd better be sure to bring some food with me when I do this for real. And I quite like this approach to the roguelite aspect of the game, that play dreaming through different scenarios and failing is what unlocks the supplies you need to survive the journey. You'll note these extra supplies in your journal, which is where you keep track of all of the animals you've met and all the different encounters that you've had, and then they'll be ready when you start the run for real next time. And eventually, when you finally make it and you see that red lantern, it is a lovely feeling. All in all, I really enjoy the Red Lantern. It's not perfect, sure, the vocal lines, as I said, can get a bit repetitive. There are only 3 save slots, which I never understand. And the decisions on Rails style might not be something you're after. But with its beautiful art style, the music, the voice acting, the charming writing, not to mention all of these doggos, I think the Red Lantern more than makes up for its less polished aspects. I've played through the game a bunch now, using different combinations of dogs, or trying to find certain animals, or following some of the dogs' own individual storylines, and I'm still having a great time with it. It's become sort of comforting and familiar after playing through it a few times, so if it looks like it might be your kind of game, I highly recommend checking it out. Thanks as always for watching. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video and maybe consider subscribing. There are 4 other videos in the series so far, so perhaps give one of those a watch. I also stream on Twitch 4 days a week where you can come and see me live and say hello. I'll put the link in the description below. Thanks again, and see you next time.